How we doing?
Give us a sense of what you thought today.
Well, I think the guys competed well. It was cool, awesome finish there with Jaron to punch it in at the end there, the whole offense to protect him. These are what we've been doing all spring. There are these opportunities to improve. That's our quest. So it's really good to see the back and forth. Thought the offense did a great job sustaining long drives, right? And then got to improve there at the end and score points. Defense did an elite job at attacking the ball. The pick six there, and the takeaways was huge. So having that never out of the fight attitude, great job. We had 4 total penalties, so impressive there in a high rep game like so, and plenty of stuff to clean up and improve on. That's for sure.
Tosh, how do you rate what you guys done in spring overall? Are you not satisfied, but encouraged by where you've come from? Yeah,
we certainly are. You know, what I do is I try to debrief myself as best as possible. So 2 people in particular that I really will lean on as far as what we can do better, what I can do better, and those individuals coming by in January, being a part of the process, and then that's what I asked for, to debrief myself. So great to hear the feedback of kind of first on scene, what we looked like 3 months ago to now, and just constantly on the quest for growth, myself included. So every day attacking it, trying to live out our culture on a daily basis, and that was the completion of what we call phase 2. So something we implemented from the NFL, and now our next phase will be phase 3, where we just continue to try to climb.
Coach, how did you balance out the teams today, and what were you looking for in that balance to help you analyze what was going on?
Yeah, so we didn't want to do a so-called ones and twos because we don't know who that is. The way we practice, we compete every day. We're trying to assess who our best players are. So we drafted the teams. Myself, Marshall Sherrington, Norm, Ron Rivera, put that together, basically drafted the teams. And, Gold had their pick. Blue had their pick. We went back to back to back and then assembled the teams. And that way, we could let it rip and have really another opportunity to improve, So, but to try to simulate as best as possible a true game possibility. That's how we did our routine, our morning routine. And, that's what we'll constantly do. And tomorrow we'll go through a thorough process of debriefing the whole day, and what we could have done better. From preparation standpoint, and what looked good, what looked bad, and what do we really got to grow from.
Speaking of feedback, for a spring game, the energy is very lively. How do you assess where you guys are just from fan feedback and what you guys saw today with all the people out there today, and how are the guys taking that on? Yeah,
I mean, it's an exciting time in Cal football, so that was obviously displayed with the support. Really cool, just to see everybody come out, the energy, the juice. At one point, we actually had to instill a silent cadence because the crowd got loud enough there. That was pretty exciting. I think, we're at exciting times for us. We're going to try to grow off of those, but the recruiting has been doing extremely well. Most importantly, the character, the quest of our team, where we're at. We're trying to improve in any which way possible. So I think the fan base is feeding off of that, and they're a huge part of this, huge part of our success. So I'm thankful to see how many people came out there and supported us. And we're gonna really challenge the fan base here, where as much as it hurt when the Raiders left the Bay, when the A's left the Bay, but we're the only team in the East Bay. And we want the East Bay alone to embrace us at the highest level, and then of course everybody's invited over to the South Bay. To come aboard here in the San Francisco and Sacramento area. Starts all there. It starts at home. So we have an all-time high at this point as far as season tickets right now. It's never been at this point of the year. Our U Club is sold out. That's never been the case, at least at this point of the year here. So some exciting things that we just got to continue to build and lean into that momentum.
One other question. Speaking of the fan base and things starting here, right now it's Autism Awareness Month, and I saw that you guys had the kids out on the field. Can you discuss more about that initiative that you brought on and what you want to do with that and how the fans, the people, and the staff are embracing this?
Absolutely. Coming here is just, I'm going to assess every place I came from, what we really did really well, right? Try to employ that here, and then what we could do better, And so within the first week, we started trying to stimulate the relationship with the Cameron Institute here that's approximately 50 yards from my office, connects into our facility, and implement the 3 pillars of theirs, which is mental preparation, community engagement, and career development. And so that's an example of exactly that. So it's something that we're extremely active in the community, done multiple things, multiple camps, exercises, and really for our team, it's one more op to go bond. So that's what led to that, of the community engagement there, and respect, as you mentioned, of this month. So I think we executed it pretty well. I think possibly Xander, we had a review that he possibly fumbled the ball before going across, right? So we have a extremely important detail rule where we have to go all the way to the logo when we score on offense or defense. So we'll coach up Xander on that, and we'll get him better from it.
Tosh, there's always talk about players and acclimating to their new surroundings. In your case, it's your first spring ball as a head coach. What, if anything, did you learn about yourself through the process?
I'm going to be my biggest critic, and for sure. So every night I'm trying to write down something or what I've fell in love with. Again, just a incredible resource here that I've never worked at a place with the amount of resources that's directed towards mental preparation, mental health. And I've certainly embraced one of those with Dr. Chow here, but just so I think I've improved a lot in resetting myself, breathing tactics. I demand that out of our team, because when I start to fall in love with something, I start to promote it, and when I believe in it. But just from a visual standpoint, breathing standpoint, how to truly reset and not just produce white noise out there. I take a lot of pride in our staff as far as coaching juice with content. So we have obvious, if you haven't been to practice yet, there's a lot of juice and energy and passion out there, but also content that follows with that, not someone just out there yelling. And, that all kind of folds in under the same umbrella, shout out one umbrella, all right? But that we can, buy into and coach, at a higher level than other places, always working and looking for the edges. And that's something I feel like that we're embracing. Certainly some individuals on our team that are embracing it at an extremely high level, and hopefully that's going to, show up on game day here.
Anything else? A couple more? Good. Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate you.